Hi, and welcome to episode 43 of Tales of Yarnia. My name is Hannah, and I'm coming to you from Cheltenham in the UK, which is where I live with my other half, Jimmy, and our yellow Labrador, Jonah. So, big welcome to any new viewers. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. I really hope you enjoy it and you stay to see more episodes. And a huge welcome to all my returning viewers. It's so lovely to have you back and chat to you about all the things I've been making. So, social media wise, you can find me as Yarnia Designs on Instagram and Ravelry. And you can also find my knitting patterns on Ravelry under Yarnia Designs as well. Okay, I made it through the intro that time without Jonah being really noisy. Took a couple of tries this time because he wanted to play with his toys and was just going crazy. Even though I've taken him on a walk before podcasting to try and tire him out, he's got an extra reserve of energy for whilst I'm podcasting because I'm not paying attention to him, I think. Anyway, so I've got lots to show you, more than I thought I would have actually. Been about 2 weeks since I last podcasted. Most of what the work I've put into knitting has been on mostly one project, but that one is now an FO, which I'll show you in a little bit. However, I did want to talk about a new idea for a make-along which I had yesterday. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that I put up a post just sort of musing about ideas and just sort of seeing if people would be interested in this make-along. So I've been feeling like I need to slow down a bit and not just focus on goals and my sort of like designing goals and trying to get patterns done. I feel like I need to take a little bit of a step back, slow down, and just make sure I have some time set aside to just focus on enjoying the stitches. Jonah, be quiet. Shh. Sorry about that. So, yes, I thought I've been wanting to slow down a little bit. Not all of the time. I think it's still good to sometimes have goals and dreams and things that you want to aim towards, because those can help to focus our energy on trying to achieve those things, but not to the extent where it puts too much pressure on you. So I feel like I have enough pressure on me trying to work a full-time job and doing some design work, and I need to make sure I set aside time for enjoying my making and creativity as well. So not that I don't enjoy designing, but there is a bit of an added pressure when I'm working on something in order to release it as a pattern, because I know it has to be perfect. So I picked up a really interesting book the other day, which is this one, and it's called The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down, by I think Haimin Sunim, who is a Buddhist monk who was born in Korea, but I think also a professor. Let me just double check that. Just double check. A former professor at a small liberal arts college in Massachusetts. So I've only just started reading this book, but the whole premise or the whole idea behind it is it provides sort of spiritual advice on how to calm down and how to remain calm in a busy world. Yeah, how to be calm in a busy world is the sort of like subtitle-y thing. And sort of like we're all always busy. we're all always on the go. It's a really fast-paced world, and I feel like everything is goal-oriented. And I just want a break from that every now and again. I just want to slow down and just be in the moment. And I have been practicing mindfulness recently as well. I've got an app, it's called Headspace. I don't know if anyone else has tried it. I'm not plugging them or, what's the word? No one's paying me to say these things. It's just my own experience. And I've really been enjoying that app. But I'm not very good at making sure I set aside time to do a meditation every day. So I need to be better at that. And that is a goal which I think is worthwhile because it's setting aside time to slow down. So yeah, in the spirit of this book and just generally wanting to make sure I have time to be calm and enjoy just being, I wanted to invite you all to join me in this idea, in this some sort of make-along. So the whole idea of the make-along is there are going to be pretty much no rules. So it's just about embracing this idea of slowing down and enjoying what you're doing. And yeah, bringing yourself a bit of joy in stitches or whatever craft it is you choose to use. So it'll include anything from pretty much anything that you can think of that you'd like to use to join in. Anything from knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, cross stitch, sewing, embroidery. There are so many crafts that you could choose. If you're unsure, then just do it and I'll allow it, I'm sure. It's fine. So yeah, pretty much any craft. Whips are allowed, and you don't even have to finish the project that you're working on. It's just about having no pressure and enjoying what we're making. So yeah, I hope that sounds good to all of you. And I will set up a thread in the Ravelry group so that we can all share what we're making and sort of spur each other on and encourage each other to set aside that time to slow down. So, Jonah does not want to slow down today. He's now getting blankets off of his bed and wants to make noise. Okay, so what was I going to say? Oh yes, I was thinking of running the make-along for about 3 months, so pretty much the start of February now, so I thought if I run it until the end of April, I'm not sure if we'll do prizes or not yet. Well, it's going to be a pretty laid-back make-along, and it's more just about enjoying ourselves and yeah, it's more about the process than the end products. So I might do a couple of little prizes, at least like my patterns and things like that. But I don't have any like prizes in like a prize basket or anything. I've used them all on the previous knit along, so I'll see if there's anything that I can find that's suitable. We might do prizes, we'll see. Because it is always nice to give things out to you all. So it is really nice. Okay, so I think that was everything I wanted to say about the make-along. And we'll be on to the knitting. I know. Sorry, Jonah. Apparently I'm boring him. Anyway, I have one FO to show you today, which is my shawl design, which I was working on last time. And it's quite a big shawl, so it's taken me a little while to knit and design, and I haven't woven in the ends yet. I've woven in some of them, but then I didn't feel like doing the rest last night, so I thought I would just do something I wanted to do instead. This will get done at some point, but there's no real urgency to doing it because it also needs blocking, and I knew I wouldn't be able to block and dry it before podcasting, so I thought, well, I'm going to show it unblocked anyway, so right, quite big, so I'm not going to fit it all on the screen. I'm going to have to move back, and then Jonah's going to get excited because I'm moving. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Oh, it looks pretty cool on the camera. But yeah, so it's a similar shape to the pear blossom shawl, so it's like an asymmetrical triangle, and you start off in this little point here, and you've got a little lace section, and then big stripy section, and then a huge lace section at this end. Let's see if I can show you a bit closer. So I've used 2 different colours of fingering weight yarn and 1 skein of 50-gram skein of mohair silk. And I'll just talk about what the yarns are. Just come back. So it's probably easiest to show you in the garter section. So yeah, the pattern will use pretty much 2 full 100-gram skeins of fingering weight and 1 50-gram skein of mohair. Right, so just don't want to dip this in my drink, so I'm just going to move my drink. Jonah, lie down. I don't know what's going to him today. Bear with me. Okay, so the colours are this variegated colour. Hopefully it's not getting blown out. This one is by Lay Family Yarn, and it's on, I think it's on a high twist base, and it's called, the colourway, sorry, is called Quirrell, which is a Harry Potter reference. I really love how that one knits up. It's really pretty. And then this tonal colourway is by Mr. B's Yarn, and that's on the Hiddleston 4-ply in the Duchess colourway. And then the fuzzy mohair, which is I think it's a mohair silk blend, and that is also by Mr. B's Yarn, and that's in the fuzzy mauve colourway, I believe. But yeah, I really love how these colours have all worked up together. I'll just see if I can try the shawl on. I quite like to wear these like this. Oops, I've lost it. This one is quite big and cozy. This is bigger than the pear blossom shawl, which I did last year, and because it's got mohair, it's all kind of floofy, and yeah, I really like how it's turned out. So you do have this little point that just comes down, but you can always wrap that around as again, and then put this little bit here too. That just sits underneath. So yeah, I really like how easy these are to wear, this shape. Yay! Okay. Oh, I don't know whether to leave this on or not. I might get a bit warm. It's really squishy. So this pattern is currently in testing at the moment. So yeah, this pattern is currently in testing at the moment. So I'm hoping to release it, if we haven't got any or too many issues, around the end of March. Hopefully. I'm giving testers about 8 weeks because it is quite a large shawl. So I thought I don't want to put too much pressure on people. So yeah. Ta-da. I love it. Okay, I'm just going to fold it up. I love how it looks folded up. Okay, so that's the only FO that I have, but that's because I've literally spent all of my knitting time working on that until it was finished. So I have made a little bit of progress on it. Sorry about that. I've had to banish Jonah because he is just being too disruptive today. I don't know what's got into him. It's like he's reverted back to being a puppy. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a couple of other projects that I've made a teeny bit of progress on. The main one's probably going to be my new sweater design, which I haven't shown for a little while because I was focusing on other projects. And I think I did show this once, maybe. Let me just get the sweater out. The yarn. So, I'm not sure if you remember or not, but I've started a sweater out of woolly mammoth fibre. Oh my gosh, it matches. It's very similar to what I'm wearing now. This isn't a hand knit sweater, this is just a shop bought one, but it's squishy and cozy and I wanted to wear it, so. But yeah, this is Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co. on the BFL Gotland 4-ply base, and the colour is Spindrift Light, and it's really, really beautiful. I really, really love this yarn. It's knitting up so beautifully. It's really lovely to work with as well. So, oh, I forgot to say what project bag this is living in. Sorry, this is my project bag from Hikari, of Hikari Handmade, and you can see her little tag, hopefully just there. I think I mentioned one of Hikari's bags on every episode because I absolutely love them. I just really love this. She does amazing bags. If you haven't seen them, I would say definitely go and check out her shop. Okay, so this is it balled up, and I've not made tons of progress since I last showed this to you, but we'll see. It's been a while since I've shown it, so where are we? Right, I think the needles. This is the front. This is the front here. So you have, it's a bottom-up sweater, and you've got two little lace panels at the front. I'm doing some seed stitch at the side, and there's another lace panel of the centre of the back. It's kind of difficult to show. Oh, I'm losing some stitches. I'm about to say it's kind of difficult to show without it coming off the needles because I'm using a cable that is smaller than the circumference of the sweater. So, and because it's not very long yet. I think I put in a marker from where I started this week. So I've done about that much. It has grown a little bit, and I'm enjoying the process of this one. It's just a really nice thing to work on. I've already written out where I've drawn out the charts. I find it easier to follow charts when I'm knitting, so I'm just able to sit and follow the charts, and I've pretty much memorized them now, so it is fairly mindless or intuitive knitting for me. You do have to think about where you're up to, but I've stuck markers around where I've got to then think about which chart I'm following. Yeah. I really, really like how this is working up so far. And as I said, the yarn is just so gorgeous and soft. It's soft, but in a woolly way. It feels sheepy and like it's got some substance to it, but it is still really soft. So, yeah, really love it. So yeah, that's one of the main projects that I'm working on now. I haven't made any progress on Ginny's Albion sweater, which is in the Brooklyn tweed. But that's just because I've mainly been focusing on the shawl, and then I just wanted to, this is just what I fancied working on, so yeah, and I will get back to that, but I'm now aiming for his birthday next year, so there's no massive rush. I feel like if I put obligations on knitting, it's not as fun, so I'm just working on whatever I feel like working on, which is good. Okay. So, and then I've also made a little bit of progress on my iced sugar cookie socks, which is a pattern by Danny of the Little Bobbins podcast. And that's living in my socks for Dobby bag, which is from Mrs. QB. And I've not made tons of progress. Can't remember where I was last time. Well, I might have been here last time. So since then I've done the heel, pretty much. That's pretty much what's happened here. I've done the heel and the gusset decreases. So now I've just got to do the foot, and I might work on this whilst I'm editing the podcast, because I can just go round and round. It's really nice, mindless stockinette now. So I did talk through all the colours properly on the last episode, so I won't go on and on about it, but I'm still really enjoying these and love how they're working up. I've just been focused on that, finishing that shawl so that I could get it into testing. So yeah, still really, really love these. Hopefully these will be finished next time and then we'll have another refill. Okay, so that's what we've done. We've done the sweater and the socks. So I've got a new cast on, which only happened yesterday. And, oh, it's living in my Labrador hair covered project bag from a homespun house with the, I don't know if they're llamas or alpacas, but the yarn which I'm using for this new project is by Paca La Alpaca. So I thought it had to go in the possible alpaca bag. So I'll just get out the ball of yarn first to show you. So this is, I've had this in my stash. It's got to be at least 2 years. And I spent a lot of that time looking for the right project for it, or trying to dream up the right project for it. I have used Paca La Alpaca before and I absolutely loved it. And I had to order this colour as well. So this is, let me get all of this right. So this is their Merino Single Ply DK, and it is so squishy. This is the only place I think I've seen, or they're the only ones I've seen do a single ply DK hand dyed, and I'm probably wrong though, there's probably others, but this is the only one I've tried or seen. It's like knitting with clouds. It is just so gorgeous. I love it. And the way it knits up, it's like a dream. And the colourway is Shabby Chic. I don't know if they still do this base or not because I bought it quite a few years ago. But I did notice on Instagram, just before I started podcasting, that they've announced a sale, 20% off sale. I think it's possibly off everything in their shop until Friday. So definitely go check that out if you want to get your hands on some Paca La Alpaca. I think they're based in Spain, and it's really, really beautiful. Love, 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 love their hand-dyed yarn. Speckles. So, what I'm making with this, I decided, because I've got 200-gram skeins of this same colourway, I decided I would like to do a cowl. Now, this doesn't really look like a cowl yet, but I'm going to knit the cowl lengthways with a provisional cast on and then join it once I've done the entire thing. And I wanted to do that so that whoever knits this pattern can use as much or as little yarn as they would like. So you could do a 1 skein cowl or a 2 skein or even a 3 skein if you wanted. And you can just stop just before you run out of yarn and join it together. So I thought that would be a really good way to use up 1 or 2 skeins of DK. And I'm doing sort of a lacy design. Don't know if you can really see it yet. And it's sort of, it's kind of difficult to show. But it's going to be a bit like this. It'll be easier to show next time once I've got a bit further on it. But I literally only cast it on last night. That's how I roll. So, I don't know if that's easier to see. But yeah, just look at the yarn, how squishy that is. So soft. So it's going to be perfect for wearing as a cowl because it's a single ply. It's really squishy. It's going to have a little bit of a halo to it. A little bit. Yeah, you can't really use single ply for anything too hard wearing. It will just pill. So I thought this would be a great way to use it. Okay, so that's my current design, other design. I've got a lot of ideas at the moment, which is quite good. But it's just making sure I focus and try not to work on too many things at once. So, oh yeah, here was the label, Paca La Alpaca. Yeah. Right, so here we go. And the other thing I've been working on is my granny stripe crochet blanket. So I've brought that here just because it's been a little while. I put quite a lot of hours into this recently. and I thought it's been a little while since I showed it. So I've got into the habit of using magic balls and sort of deciding which colours I want to go next to each other and winding them up into a magic ball. So this is the one I'm currently using. And I'm using a lot of mini skeins which I got in my advent. And I think I'm about halfway through the length of this blanket now. We're aiming for it to be, well, I say we, it's just me working on it, but Jimmy would like it to be as big as our bed, or bigger. So I've done it wider than our bed, which is a king size, and I'm doing, it's about halfway, I think, half the length, so, or half the height it needs to be. Possibly. Isn't it crazy? It's just massive. I'm just going to take the crochet hook out now because it's going to fall out anyway. And if it undoes a few stitches, that's fine. So each row probably takes me about half an hour. So that's one end, and that's the other end. Yeah, so I can't see where my marker is. Ah, it's on the other side. Let me just see. So where is the marker? Right, so last time I showed it to you, I was here. So I've done all of this, which doesn't look like a lot, but that's, if it takes me half an hour to do one row, that's got to be at least 20 hours work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So that's 13 hours work, approximately. So I think it's worthy of showing again. So yeah, I'm sort of, I'd started off my blanket down here, just doing random colours. Oh, sorry, that's the crochet hook. It's running away. I started off just doing random colours, and then I've gradually sort of faded things in, sort of with a more gradual colour change, if that makes sense. I'm really loving all these pinks and purples that I've done around here. So yeah. Yeah. It's huge. So that was the crochet blanket progress. And that is something which I think I'm going to be working on as part of the as part of the make along. Because that's something where I've not really got a deadline for it. I'm just sort of enjoying adding colours, and it's very mindless. So I think that's a good one for the make along. The other thing which I've brought out, which I'm hoping to work on in the make along, or in the spirit of the make along, is my embroidery sampler, which is here. So this was a kit. Who was it by? Oh, here we go. It's a Jenny Blair kit, which I think was on Etsy. And it's just like an autumn wildflower embroidery sampler. It comes with the hoop, the fabric, and all of the embroidery floss that you need, as well as instructions on how to work each stitch. So it's a great embroidery for dummies, which is exactly what I needed, because this is my first time doing embroidery. So this is how far I got. So you can see it's stenciled out where you do each stitch. And I really love these ones. Find those. I love the little flower ones. So still got the dandelion to do. And then some of these, I'm not sure what those are. And then just some random little crosses, which I think are bits of dandelion flying off. So yeah, I think I've got the yellow bits that I haven't done. And this is a new stitch which I've not tried yet, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Oh, and that one, yeah. They're all new. Yeah, so I've not actually got that much left to do on this now. And it's ridiculous how long it's taken me to get this far, but I do find that when I do work on the embroidery, I really find it quite calming. I like to put music on or listen to an audiobook and just stitch away. And I have to concentrate on it because it's all new to me. So I think it's something I really enjoy doing but hardly ever do. So that's going to be a definite thing that I do in my make-along. And it was Nessa, my friend, who is Kilter Craft on Instagram, and she's also got the Kilter Craft podcast here on YouTube. And she already she started she's got out her cross stitch sampler. I think it's a frosted pumpkin stitchery one, and it's like you have a little square for each month of the year. And she's already got hers out and was like, this will be perfect for the make along. And I was like, oh wait, I've got embroidery I could do. So yeah, she sort of gave me the idea to get that out, because I have it in a bag just hidden away in the craft room and I forget that it's there. So I need to make sure I leave it out somewhere I can see it. And then I'll remember to make some time to just slow down and work on a bit of embroidery for a while. So that is that. I'll just pop that over there. Okay, so I've not got any acquisitions this time, but I was just going to show you my spinning progress. So I've been spinning some, I think it's alpaca and silk, and it was from Cat and Sparrow. This gorgeousness, and it's so soft. This is my first time spinning with alpaca, and there is a bit of a learning curve, but I'm really enjoying it, how it's spinning up, and I think I'm doing fairly okay, but I'm not a very experienced spinner, so I have no idea if this is good or not. I feel like I've done quite well, but I don't know. And I don't know if I will have overspun it, or because I think I do have a habit of, like, if you overspin it, I've heard with alpaca it can go quite ropey, or it won't be soft anymore. So I'm not sure whether that's when it comes to plying. I think I want to make sure that I don't over-ply it, because I've heard that it can then lose its softness. But it's definitely got a sheen to it. I don't know if you can see. Sorry. Yeah, it's definitely got a sheen to it. And it still feels soft here on the bobbin. So I'm working it as a 2-ply, or planning for it to be a 2-ply. So I finished one half of the braid, and now I'm just working on the other half. Oh, sorry, I'm here. So I'm thinking that should be another thing for my make along, because I find spinning very relaxing and I don't always make time to do it. So yeah, so many things that we can include in the make along. And yeah, it's just about remembering to take some time for yourself and do something you really want to do with no pressure on it, no added pressure. So yeah, So just wanted to do a little recommendations section, and I've been listening to and watching a couple of things recently that I just wanted to mention in case anyone else might enjoy them. So first up, I wanted to just give a bit of a shout out to a new podcaster, and it's Chantal, who is test knitting my new shawl design. She has just started a new podcast on YouTube, and it's called the Shanty Knits Podcast, I think. Yes, that's right. And I will include a link to that down below. So she's recently done her first episode, and it's really, really amazing. Way, way better than my first episodes, probably my current episodes. But yeah, she's got really, really interesting projects. They are absolutely beautiful. And I learned quite a lot from listening to her as well. She's quite informative when she's talking about what she's making too. So I would definitely go and check her out if you're looking for any new podcasts to watch. Or even if you're not, just go and give it a watch. It's really good. So that was the first thing I've been watching. I've also been watching Sabrina, the new series of Sabrina. I won't talk about what happens, but yeah, I've been really, really enjoying it. So there's 3 seasons of that series now out on Netflix. And it's a little bit like creepy and scary. Like, I'm not too scared to watch it. It's not like a horror movie sort of scary. It's just sort of like creepy and fun, that sort of way. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that series. There was a film we went to see recently, which is 1917, and it's the best film I've seen in a long time. It is set in World War One, which I don't have that much knowledge of, but I really, really enjoyed the film. I do enjoy sort of war films or just that sort of genre. And it was really, really interesting. I was gripped the whole time, and we knew beforehand that they'd used like a really interesting like filming technique where the whole film is one continuous like shot, if that makes sense. Obviously they break up to do different takes and things, but when you're watching the film, the camera doesn't break to look at things from a different angle. You are like, it feels like you're with them the entire film, and it was really, really immersive, and it was just such a good film. I would recommend it. It is quite gory though, so just be warned, but it was an amazing film. And then a couple of podcasts I've been listening to recently. Obviously, I've been listening to My Favourite Murder. I'm super behind on that, but it's really, really good. And another one I've sort of started listening to. It might not be for everyone. It probably won't be for everyone, but just in case that's your sort of genre, there's a podcast which I found called My Funeral Home Stories, which is kind of, if you like My Favourite Murder, you might like My Funeral Home Stories. And it's this guy who works at a funeral home and has done since he was like a teenager. And each episode he discusses a different case, like where he's gone to go and pick up a body. This is probably not what everyone likes to listen to, but yeah, I find it really, really interesting. And yeah, they're like quite, there's a bit of humour to the way he tells the stories. It's not like all really macabre, and like it is a bit, obviously it's going to be graphic because he's talking about going to collect bodies from different places. It's part of his job, but it's a job that people do, and it's really, I really find it interesting learning about what it's like to do, like have that as a job. Like, I don't think I could do it myself. I definitely couldn't. But I find it really interesting to hear what that's like. And along the same sort of lines, me and Jimmy have both been listening to an audiobook together. I've forgotten the name of it. It is a forensic. It's another non-fiction, and it's written by a forensic pathologist, and he discusses his career as a forensic pathologist in London, and it's really, really interesting and insightful. Let me just get the name of it. The book is called Unnatural Causes, and the life and many deaths of Britain's top forensic pathologist. And it's written by Richard Shepherd. It is obviously available as a physical book, but we listened to the audiobook and it's narrated by him. And it was so interesting. He talks about obviously investigating the causes of why people died. So I think if anyone listens to My Favourite Murder, you probably enjoy this. Because in the same way that they sort of talk about, also they sort of try to like speculate on cases and murders and things like that, he does discuss the scientific background behind how they come to decisions about how someone has died. So yeah, this has turned into a bit of a weird death podcast at the end, but I've been really I find those things really interesting. I do find science quite interesting, and like true crime stuff, and this is sort of both mixed in. So yeah, just thought some recommendations if you're into that sort of thing. If you're not, I've also been enjoying the pottery throwdown programme, which I think is on the BBC, and Britain's Best Home Cook, I think it's called. Those are a bit more mainstream. So yeah, I've really been enjoying those as well. So I'm not a complete weirdo, just part weirdo. Anyway, so I think I've gone on long enough about all of these things now. Let me know what you've been up to, if you're excited for the make-along. What have you been watching and listening to recently and enjoying, or reading? Yeah, let me know what's going on in your life, and whether you want to slow down in this make-along with me. Yeah, it's been really, really lovely to talk to you. I hope you have another lovely couple of weeks until I speak to you again soon. And yeah, bye.